Hey, you guys.
Hey, Nicole.
Can we just ever start anything remotely professional?
Serious?
I'm sitting here looking like a news anchor, and then I got this. It's
Yeah.
And on the news today. Yeah. What's going on, people?
such a ham.
Man. All right. So, movies that move we are talking today about what movie?
The Banker.
The Banker. Yeah.
The Banker.
Really good movie, and we can break it down and just talk about it. Now, listen, just so you all know, I'm actually hanging out with my little sister. This is my adopted little sister, Nicole. Of course, you all already know who she is. But we haven't seen each other in a while. I've been, as you all probably know, been overseas for a little bit. And I finally got a chance to come back. And we're hanging out at one of our favorite spots. And it's just such a nice day. We figured we'd do it outside.
Yeah, let's go ahead and give a shout out to Maker's Craft.
Maker's Craft.
It's a brewery, local here in the city of Norfolk.
Yes.
I have to shout out my hometown and them doing big things. It's awesome. That's right. It's an awesome. We know you're from Chi-Town. We know you're from Chicago.
But you were born in Virginia Beach. But yeah.
I was born in Norfolk, but I grew up in grew up in Virginia Beach. I'm so sorry.
Okay.
And moved back to Norfolk, sir.
Get it right.
While you want to talk about Chi-Town and act ugly.
The Chi.
But yeah, that's why we're here, and they're allowing us to use the space and be out here and to enjoy. But, if you're ever in the Norfolk area, definitely check out Makers. They have some awesome craft beers, and they also have Emerson. So if you are into cigars. Right here on the premises.
Yeah. I prefer a pipe nowadays myself. I'm going to get Nicole off into it because she does smoke sticks, cigars. I'm going to get her, I don't know. Her birthday's not till next year, but Christmas is coming. Something, I'll figure out something. Get her a pipe. It should be as cool as her big brother.
Right. But when we think about the banker.
The banker. Yeah, let's get on topic.
When we think about the banker, there is so much that we can unpack, but we're going to try to unpack it in a really concise way in like 10 to 15 minutes so that you all can kind of, if you haven't seen it yet, then it'll get you, kind of geared up to want to watch. And if you have already seen it, then maybe get you to go back and rewatch it to see if you pick up on some more points. So, Nicole, go ahead and hit us off with the combo.
All right. So, The Banker. Banker, great movie. Takes place in starts off in the 1940s?
Yeah, late 40s, early 50s.
Early 40s. You start off with young man, brilliant mind, real good with the mathematics, and standing outside of banking institutions, spying on the white bankers, basically picking up and trying to glean as much knowledge as he can. And he eventually forayed that into buying real estate.
Yep.
Buying real estate and breaking the real estate market in LA, which in the 50s was still very much segregated.
Yes.
And did that.
Texas too, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And did that by including a white gentleman to assist him in doing so.
Yes.
And it's what had to be done back then.
It's what still has to be done now, because when you think about it, he started out wanting to do real estate, and the bank situation kind of rolled in, and then he rolled back into real estate.
Yep.
But the whole key is that, and that's something I kind of want to touch on, briefly, is our need to still be connected and have a non-black face. I would say that, in order to kind of front what it is that we need to do in order to be considered legitimate. For the establishment to take us seriously. And to me, that kind of like reigned, through the whole thing, because had he not had those people, in order to to front and be the face, and even their finances, there were some things in their access. So it shows you that even then rolling into now, that's something that we still have to do.
Big time. Big time. But he got it done.
He did.
Got it done. Now, an amazing and interesting fact about the movie is that the three main actors in there, it's two male leads, and then you have the other guy. So you have Samuel Jackson, and you have Anthony Mackie. Now, a lot of us know them from the Avengers series of movies, Captain America, Avengers. So they're with the MCU. Of course, you know, Samuel L. Jackson is Nick Fury. The Falcon is played by Anthony Mackie. Well, the other gentleman, his name is the character's name is Matt. He's also part of the Marvel franchises, but not in the MCU. So he plays Beast in
Nicholas Hoult.
Yep. He plays Beast in the X-Men and X-Men related movies. So when they had what's the one with Deadpool? He actually shows up in there because the X-Men are attached to that and stuff. Right. So it's just really interesting that you had that kind of prestige going on with this, what would be considered probably like a small black film. Yeah, and then you also had Nia Long in there doing some heavy lifting. Yeah, let's not forget Nia Long. Yeah, very good movie. Definitely a lot to learn. Had you ever heard of this gentleman before?
No, I hadn't. And the thing is that if you are into real estate, I highly recommend watching it. You know, if you're into finance, I highly recommend watching it because it kind of speaks to what it is that we're going through right now when it comes to the market, and when it comes to our industry. You know, being African Americans, you know, trying to make it and what it takes in order to make it. You know, so and just having that dynamite team. So if that is your thing, if that's your vocation or your profession, I would definitely recommend it. But I had never heard of him, and I was so intrigued by it because the level of research, let's talk about that. The level of research this guy did, and the fact that in the very beginning of the movie, that's what got him connected to the first white gentleman that put him on when it came to what he was doing. He said, you know the numbers. And he was like, I'm going to have to be the face, but you know the numbers, you know the ins and outs. And, you know, if you know anything about commercial real estate, you know, what it takes in order to have, you know, purchase a property like that, just knowing, you know, the vacancies and, you know, and how to flip those types of things. Right. He could route that stuff off, you know, off the top of his head.
Yes.
And he knew whether it was something that was viable or not. And he was able to do some awesome projections, which in the real estate market isn't always easy because it can be volatile depending on what else is going on in the country. Indeed. So, never heard of him. What about you all? Had you heard of him? I know these movies are educating us, and it makes you want to look, and it makes you want to go and dig deeper to see, you know, what else you can learn about these people. Because of course, the movies only touch on a small segment, but it gives us a little taste. But it makes you want to kind of, you know, learn more and see if there are any books out there or any other documentaries that kind of speak to it. So what other points did you all kind of get out of the movie outside of the fact that he needed front people and he was doing something unheard of, you know, during a very challenging time?
They managed to tie, and the people that this references are Bernard, Garrett, and Joe Morris. Actual people that did this between what was it, Texas, and it wasn't just LA. Texas and LA, because I think Bernard Garrett was originally from Texas.
Yes.
And so it actually tied into the bigger picture of the legal system as well. They didn't spend as much time on that in the movie, but it tied into how this kind of changed the laws across the country about segregation, the housing market, and
redlining.
Definitely
right. And it pointed to this is how it had its impact from the local government all the way to the top at the national level. So that was kind of interesting to find out.
Yeah.
You have a visitor. You know, we have our movies and movie mascot.
Yes, we do.
Bonnet and all. So so it was interesting to kind of get that little piece to say, oh, that's what influenced that
yes
action. It wasn't just Martin Luther King and all those big names.
Right. It's more than just
in
that.
history. There was actually another set of individuals that
there's always some type of grassroots movement that happen in a variety of areas that never gets really spoken about because people only focus on the main figures.
Right.
But you have people that that made moves in a whole lot of different arenas when it came to civil rights. It's just all we know about are the initial laws that got passed and the people were there that were a part of signing when it came to that. But even now in this area, there are still deeds that people hold that say colored only or white only. And we have a place in Portsmouth where the family paid off their home and their deed said that they were able to purchase their home because the whites that were selling it wanted to sell to them. So what they did, they had a front person. They ended up buying a home, and then it kind of shocked the neighbors because this black family moved in, but there's nothing they could do about it because they already owned. And we're not as volatile up here as further down south people can be when folks, move in and they don't want them there. They just pretty much
really tribal.
Yeah, so it didn't get that ugly. But needless to say, they paid off their home. I want to say the article hit like about 5 years ago, and when they showed the deed in the paper, I was blown. Because you hear about this stuff, but then when you see it in print, you like somebody actually went through this, and they're allowed to tell about it. That's the whole thing, because a lot of what we understand about our history, we don't have a relevant resource. You can't like touch that person and say, do you remember when this happened or whatever? These people are still alive, So that says a lot when it comes to how far we have not come. In certain areas, so as you get further into the movie, giving it away, what are some other points, or some other aha moments that you all had when you were watching it?
It was amazing to me how they had to, and you remember Anthony Mackie's character Bernard, he did not want to do the chauffeur thing. He did not want to do that. Now Samuel L. Jackson already knew the deal. He was doing his thing in his part of town, owned the club that he was in there drinking and partying in all the time. So he already knew the game. And he even teased him with the fact, he didn't want to wear the hat,
It's a chauffeur's hat.
As a chauffeur's hat, yeah. But eventually he had to. Eventually he had to play janitor. Eventually he had to walk in as the chauffeur and just kind of stand around, act like you don't know what's going on and you're not hearing all of the things going on with this meeting or something like that. Yeah.
Not to play the role of the help once you elevated within your community.
Because it's a pride thing, and what it is that, Samuel Jackson wasn't from Texas, but he knew the racism that was there. He grew up, just to kind of give you, his character grew up a little bit more affluent than Garrett's character. He grew up having money. His mother was a business owner. And he himself had been a business owner, and he had connections and was moving and shaking in some circles, when it came to high echelons of government and influence in LA, it was just all undercover. So, his upbringing was a little different, but he was still aware of what it was like for other people that were not like him. Right. Garrett himself, having come from Texas, and if you are from Texas, and I have relatives that are there, and still live there, there's a difference. I'm just gonna put it to you that way. I don't want to offend anybody from Texas, but there's a big difference. And for him, he had grown up seeing that level of just overt racism and how being a black man meant you were still called boy no matter how old you were. Never being valued for your intellect and your knowledge. And in order to kind of move and shake and do anything, you had to come off subservient. But in order to do what he needed to do, he had to play that role, and he just felt like he was above that. That he had made his money. He was a man. He didn't want to come under those guys, but he had to play the role. And how many times, if you are a person of color, you have to play the role. What's that poem? We wear the mask. So he had to wear that mask in order to have the level of success that he wanted to have, and don that hat and don that garb, in order to get the information he needed to take it to the next level.
You know, it's amazing that you mentioned wearing the mask, having to wear the mask. Our theme song is actually called what?
Unmasked.
And it's by Robert Rice Jr. And of course, we'll put his information. There we go. Smoothology.net. Yeah. So check him out. He's a very prolific individual, and he's an adopted big brother of mine too. And while you're at it, check us out too, because we actually have websites and ways that you can follow us and follow the stuff that we write, because we're all authors. So yeah, that knucklehead right there.
That'd be him.
That'd be me. Yep. So DonMiscale.com. And then this young lady right here, this lady, NicoleDeCandice.com. Make sure you spell DeCandice correctly, because sometimes it can be a bit of a challenge. But here's the fun part. Nikkei Rice. Now it's not Nike, it's Nikkei.
Only her close friends can call her Nike because we're being funny. But
exactly.
But if you don't know her like that, you might want to pronounce it correctly.
Look at a knuckle sandwiches all
sandwich. And she's got that Jamaican island blood in her. Yeah, so she come with you with the machete.
The cutlass
and the ginger beer.
Yeah. You don't want those problems. You don't want any of that smoke.
You manage water.
Yes.
That's something she told me about.
That's something else.
Yeah.
Another show.
All right. Well, so overall, did you all think that it was a good expenditure of time?
Yes.
Did we learn something new and stuff?
I did.
Excellent 2 hours and 1 minute worth.
Is that what it was? 2 hours?
Yeah.
Okay.
01 exactly. I think this needs to be right up in school curriculum.
I do too.
It does.
I do too. For business and not even so much for Black history, just for business period.
Look, history period, business period,
economic theory, business theory, real estate.
Yep.
Well, I tell you what it did for me. If there's something that you're trying to grind towards, it just makes you look at she's a hustler, baby. It makes you look at you know what? If they can do it, what's my excuse? I mean, that's the whole time I'm watching. I'm like, you look at all the obstacles that were in their way, and you look at how we have all this wealth of information, how we, how being connected to people isn't as difficult as it once was. There's no reason. So it's like, if you need to be inspired, like right now, you may be going through a slump when it comes to your business, or you're going through some challenges. You're trying to go in a different direction, but you're not quite sure how. Watch this. This will get you inspired and get those gears rolling.
The highlight for me was at the very beginning. When he was standing outside the window, air hustling and taking notes and calculating. They were not teaching him that in school. He was standing outside that window and gleaning that knowledge for himself. Don't tell me we are not brilliant.
We are brilliant.
Okay? On our own.
Without
encouragement, without anybody shoveling anything. We can figure this out.
It's sheer grit. And I'm going to say this, and this is probably for another show, another topic. And it also lets you know, for those of you all that are in relationships or looking to be in one, it's imperative that you have the right spouse or significant other. Don is married, Nikkei and I are both single, and and being a woman out here trying to make it. The moment she told was it a father or was it a father-in-law? Because I can't remember.
It was her uncle.
Was it her uncle? Okay. At the very beginning of the movie. Okay.
When I tell you, she was willing to do whatever it took because she understood and saw the genius in her husband.
Yes.
And I'm going to say this, and then I'm going to be quiet because I know we got to wrap this up. It really it's kind of weird how we're watching this movie now, and this movie is not new. It's been out for a while.
Yep. But
I look at it in relation to the situation that's going on with Tabitha Brown, and that's something that you could probably touch on your show, and I will show up for that. The situation is going on with Tabitha Brown and her husband and the whole Wendy Williams situation.
Yep.
When you are in agreement as to how we're going to do this thing as a couple, how we going to make it work, and the sacrifices that it takes. This is what it looks like when you are on one accord to do those things.
Big time.
You know,
when you have the vision and you walk it out together.
And you walk it out
don't
together.
Preaching up in here, girl.
Right.
Girl.
How does the lyric go? It's I'm a force all by myself, but I'm a movement when we're together.
Yes, yes.
I'm telling you, man.
Yep, Neo.
To have church up in here.
Yep.
Okay.
Hallelujah.
That's the truth. This movie has so many.
It did.
Has so many nuggets. It really did.
On all kinds
I was like, wow.
Big time. Big time.
I was like, let me find a man that can do the algebraic equations that can and devise some commercial
permutations and all that other great stuff.
And you know,
stuff you can't spell.
It's nothing right. And the thing is, it's nothing like being with a smart man. Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
That's why I'm so glad that my wife chose my black man.
Facts.
You lucky to have her.
Yeah, I am. Well, she's saying that because she knows my wife.
I do. God.
The stuff she has to put up with.
A lot. When I say his wife was made for him, factory engineered for him, specific parts. Yes.
It takes a special anointing to deal with.
Yeah. And even his adopted sisters, we were made for him as well. Oh my God.
We just were friends. So I can't imagine.
It takes a lot. It takes a lot to be Don's friend.
It does.
It takes
some work.
It takes some
not work, but work.
So we, this movie is definitely 4 or 5 stars, whatever the highest, whatever the highest rank is, whatever tomatoes.
Just for historical significance alone, if nothing else. Yeah. Well, it wasn't like a whole lot of he started out here and then there was a huge shift in character like this. He stayed on the grind and stayed steady. Now, of course, he had to, put on the chauffeur's cap and stuff like that. But generally speaking, it was a historical movie and it was information. And as we said, it's information that should be shared across the board, not just during February, during Black History Month.
Black History Month is every month because I'm Black every day.
Hallelujah.
I'm sorry. I don't get a chance to change into something. I don't morph. I'm not, I'm not.
It don't rub off. I got makeup on, but this don't rub off.
I got some Indian in my family.
I don't get to swap out this.
I'm black.
I'm black.
I'm black.
And when we walk down the street, we're identified as being Black.
When the cop pull up behind me, not knowing that I used to be a cop.
He's not asking for a genealogy. He goes on site.
Still Black.
I'm black. Yeah.
He's still Black. So
he's Black with some, some Caucasian and some Native American and
they ain't counting the other parts.
No, Negro.
Yeah.
And I'm happy to be. I wouldn't want to be anything else. But of course, that's what this show is about anyway. There are plenty of movies and shows and things that we can pick apart. But we love talking about Black movies. I love talking about just movies in general.
He does.
Yeah, I do. But there's such a wealth of knowledge to be gained from the stuff that we do. From the stuff when we have strong Black characters on the screen. Yes. Strong Black leading men and leading women and stuff like that. I love that. Beautiful sisters and brothers. And one more shout out if I don't say anything else. Were those brothers dressed sharp or what?
Ooh.
Man, listen, I am a fan of the wide lapels and the hats. Like when hats were a part of the uniform.
Okay.
And you know what? We got all off target doing one of our shows when it came to Tenet.
Yes.
And I kind of went in on some things, but I'm not going to do that today because
y'all can go back and watch that one.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Go back and watch that.
And it's nothing like not just being smart, but being a well-dressed,
oh my gosh, yes,
tailored, suit wearing,
walking. Yeah.
Okay.
Women love that.
Yes.
Women love for all you guys who don't know, huh?
I was about to say there's 2 ways that you can dress that'll have women falling out. You can go completely male thought and do the gray sweatpants.
Ma'am.
Okay.
Ma'am.
Right. Or put on the suit. Okay, and you'll have us falling out.
Yeah,
that's it. The men.
Oh, you forgot about basketball shorts though. That it's summertime.
This time of year.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah.
That's male thought 2.0. Go for it. Go for it.
You wear some basketball shorts in the wintertime. You wear some Timbs, gray sweatpants, and you pull that cap all the way down.
Or if
Sir,
you rag is on me.
I'm trying to help you. I'm trying to help you all out.
Trying to get you blessed.
What I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Don did mention we single, right? So we have our.
I'm just saying, we got these beautiful ladies here, and they ain't no joke. So
don't be sliding up in our DMs with nonsense. Not for it.
Jumping all in the inbox and no BS. So because they will let me know. Don, what do you think of what this dude said?
A lot.
I'm very protective.
Okay, we all about a block party, so don't come with no nonsense. Anyway, back to the matter at hand.
We get off topic again.
We did.
That's all.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
But that being said, yes, they were well dressed.
Yes,
they were.
In the movie.
Women go crazy about a sharp dressed man. What?
Yes.
ZZ Top said it best. Yeah. Big time. Big time.
So yeah, overall, love the movie.
Yes.
Yeah.
Don't let the controversy that came with it scare you off of it.
Don't let it scare you off.
Rent it, download it, watch it.
Yep. Show it to your children.
Yes.
Let them see it. It doesn't matter if
look,
white or Hispanic,
you cannot
Latinx,
go wrong.
Asian, doesn't matter. Native American, doesn't matter.
You can't go wrong with Samuel Jackson and Anthony Mackie.
And what did he not say in this movie? One time.
He did not say MF. Not
one.
I'm
going to tell you this. If anybody has ever elevated that to an art form,
it's him.
It's Samuel Jackson.
Is.
Now, of course, he never says it as Nick Fury either. You know,
no.
It's PG. You know,
that's a family movie. But look,
when he does say it brings a certain nuance.
Yes,
it's
does.
Like, you know, and it's like it is contextual. It's like, you know, when he slides in there, you don't feel like he's overdoing it.
Right.
It's supposed to be where he placed it.
Yep.
And there's a level of appreciation for that.
You know, it's almost you know, it's almost like he says it in cursive.
Yeah,
right.
He does.
It's been elevated to.
Girl, my independent, even calligraphy. It's like, oh wow.
Yeah, with a fountain.
There's a lot of flourish on it.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, big time. So check out The Banker, and check this out. Check out our videos too. Like, share, subscribe. It doesn't mean a big deal to you, but it means so much to us. And also, Nicole has her own channel. What's your channel, Nicole?
Nicole the Candace.
Bang, there it is. And check her out. She's on YouTube also, and she puts out some really great videos. A lot of stuff to help you get your mindset right and all that other good stuff. So yeah, we talk about movies, but we got other things going on too. Yep. Follow your mods on their platforms. Check us out on Facebook and on Saturdays. Right now, at the time that we're doing this video, Saturdays at 1 p.m. Eastern time, which is what time on the left coast there, Nicole?
10 a.m.
10 a.m. on the left coast, aka the West Coast. For now, on Clubhouse on Saturdays, we do live discussions so that folks can chime in and say what they think. And not just, and please put stuff in the comments on YouTube if you want. We don't mind that. But yeah, jump on there. Clubhouse is for everybody now. For a minute, it was just for iPhone users. Yeah. Now Android users can get with it. So
we do have a Facebook page when it comes to movies that move.
Yes.
Be sure to answer the questions that are associated, with the page, because if you don't answer them, you do not get entrance. We're very serious about guarding our content, guarding the discussions that we're having, and just having people in there that are not trolling, but they're really a part of building a community.
Yes.
So please, by all means, join the Facebook page. Movie that movie. We're pretty consistent when it comes to naming and branding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't swap
we
up.
We want to make it easy on you, but legit answer the questions. Don't just throw anything in there, because we do read your responses.
We do.
If it ain't jiving.
Time. I've got time.
Yeah, definitely. It's summertime.
I'm like, click.
I know I got time
I'm good
right
for
now. I know I got time right now.
We'll end up with 10 people and end up back with 0 in 5 minutes. Because that's how we do it.
She don't play. That's why she my sister. So she keeps me straight. Ish.
The ish part.
The ish. It's the ish. Well, we said we were only going to be on here 10 minutes, 15 minutes. We look like we're going double time. It doesn't matter, though, because sometimes when you get into a conversation and it becomes very relevant and it's really, really good to you, it bees that way, as we would say. And this just happens to be one of those. So thank you all for sticking it out. For those who stuck it out to the end of the video, again, like, share, subscribe. and check out Nicole's channel and like, share, and subscribe to her channel too. Please. We're asking nicely before Nicole started breaking out those knuckle sandwiches. Yeah.
Don't make me get tough.
Nah, don't make me get tough. I've seen it before. You ever see the Incredible Hulk? You seen She-Hulk?
It's not pretty.
It's not pretty.
Don't make me
turn green and everything. Yeah. But thank you all for sticking it out with us. Check out The Banker. Check us out. We got other movies that we review, other things that we talk about too, shows and other things. And on our Facebook group, and our group page, we go into in depth and the conversation continues. So please join us there. Feel free. And that's all I got.
That's all we've got.
Until next time, everyone.
Until next time. Thanks for joining us, folks.